Thank you all for coming today. And I think I'd like to welcome you to what may be the first ever local food system job fair in Washtenaw County, which is pretty amazing. And I would like to thank Victoria Bennett of Washtenaw Community College and Jane Bush of the Food System Economic Partnership for helping to put this together. So I think that that's been really a fantastic thing. So this panel is called Hiring 101 for Farmers. And I want to talk a little bit about what the format is going to be. First, I'm going to do a couple of the introductions of our fabulous panel. And then I'm going to ask some questions of them and then spend some time letting you, the audience, ask some questions. So Victoria said that I should ask about best practices and challenges regarding hiring on a farm. And Jane mentioned that one of the challenges in working with people who are new to farming is that you have to teach them how to work. Another farmer that I talked to told me that most HR people don't have to remind potential hires that there will be bugs and dirt. And I also heard that in working on a small farm in particular, that it's not a hiring process as much as it's an adoption process. So it's clear that the process of hiring for work with a farm is probably unique to each farm. And I think that we'll get some of that. So I love that we've gathered together some of the most experienced and respected farmers in our area to help outline the range of possibilities for work on a farm. And to hear a little bit more about what's worked or what hasn't. And I hope that we'll walk away with some clearer ideas about what to expect. So I'd like to introduce our panelists, although they'll help me out if I forget something. So Ann Elder and Paul Bantle are the farmers at Community Farm of Ann Arbor. It's a biodynamic farm in CSA that has been around for about 23 years. Ann and Paul have been there for 19 years, and they have about 35 acres that they farm in 3 locations. So welcome, Ann and Paul. Jane Bush has a farm in Charlotte called Apple Schramm, and she's been there for 24 years, and she has 40 acres, which includes 1,000 apple trees, and pastured lands, and hogs, and a hoop house, and a small CSA. And a lot of you probably know Richard Andres, who together with Deb Lentz owns Tantre Farm. And I forgot to ask Richard how long he and Deb have been there. 17 years and 40 acres? 50 acres? So a large CSA that is one of the most popular ones in our area. So welcome all of you, and thank you very much for being here. So what I want to do is ask some of the questions that I am anticipating that people might have, and ask each of them to give a response if they have one, or to pass if they feel like they don't have one or it's already been answered. So maybe we can start with Ann and Paul, and if you could talk about what the range of jobs on your farm for which you need to hire might be.
On our farm, we have 2 full-time head farmers. That would be Paul and myself. And then we hire what we call apprentices. Those would be anywhere from 8 to 19 workers every year. And most of that work is field work. How about you, Polly?
Well, you know, there's a lot of diverse tasks that get done through the day. So if I imagine the course of a day, there's animal chores. So there's tending to the animals, cleaning the stalls, making sure they have feed and water. Then there's a greenhouse. So there's all the the skills that go into managing a greenhouse, and things that contribute to structures on the farm, like barns, greenhouses. So skills related to carpentry can be used. Then as you go through the day and it gets a little warmer, we're out in the fields more. There's a lot of hand tools, different types of hand tools. There's equipment that gets run and needs to be maintained. There's the occasional person that comes to the farm as a coworker who's got good mechanical skills. There's social skills. Am I on the right track here? It's skill related, right? So social skills, because we're collectively working. There's some administrative tasks that get done. And then, as Annie pointed out, all the field work. And, you know, we encourage a lot of volunteer involvement on our farm, so there's quite a few things that support the life of the farm that the coworkers don't do, but other people in our community do, like bookkeeping, maintaining a database of the membership, those sorts of things. So it's like, you know, it's a beautiful compilation of people that are there on a day-to-day basis, hired employees, and then people who are members of the farm that contribute their skills.
And then also on our farm, we have a lovely range of ages. We have people that are in their teens that are working, some of them for their first job ever. And then we have people that are retired that are working with us. So the age range of our workers is really vast. And the lovely thing is some people come to our farm with no skill, but a great desire to work. And that's what we really look for, is for somebody who has the passion to try. And for some of those people, they come back for many years. We have some workers that have come back for 5, 6, 7 years, even some that are there in their 13th year. And then there's some people that just don't even stay for a whole season. So it's a situation where people can grow with it and learn more if they want to, or not, if they don't.
So Jane, I wonder if you could talk about what the range of things that you hire for would be.
Pruning is a big, a big task to be done off season, and during the season. And pruning is done during the winter months when the trees are dormant. There's animal care, like Paul and Ann, that has to be done on a daily basis. When we start growing vegetables, there's an awful lot of greenhouse work and vegetable production kind of work, like weeding and planting and those types of things. And during the growing season on the orchard, there's mowing, an awful lot of mowing and spraying to be done. It's a certified organic orchard, and the mowing, the spraying is quite more intense than conventional orchard. So there's a lot of tractor time. There's a lot of sitting on the tractor time. And we also, in conjunction with the Farmers Egg Cooperative, there is a whole other piece of work that we do, or that Apple Schramm is in relationship to the Farmers Egg Cooperative, and that's a whole distribution system that's been going on for about 12 or 13 years now. And the Farmer Egg Cooperative gets together. There's about 10 farmers in the cooperative, and the main food that produces eggs, brown eggs, Grazing Fields is the brand name. And so what that cooperative does is it takes care of all the marketing and the transportation of the eggs, all the business, the work that goes with selling eggs to retail customers and stores and institutions. And we do that on a weekly basis. We have about 35 customers, and so there's a whole other skills that comes into play around distribution and marketing.
Thanks. Richard, how about
Well,
Country Farm?
we have a lot of the same things that these other folks have going on at our place in one form or another. You know, there's technical work, the manual work of growing vegetables and keeping the greenhouse. You know, that would be one category. There might be marketing work, going to market, calling restaurants, seeing what they need, sales work a little bit in there with the marketing, and then answering questions over the email and straightening things out with CSA members, so being available to greet those people that come out to the farm. So there's, like Walmart maybe, there's a greeter, somebody that's friendly there.
Just like Walmart.
But it affords a little more intimacy maybe than what you'd have at Walmart. I mean, you know, we do a lot of sharing on the farm and cooking on the farm. So everybody that works on the farm cooks on the farm, except the rare exception. Everybody is cooking something that we're growing on the farm. So everyone's involved with growing the food, harvesting the food, you know, pulling the weeds. There are various other technical skills regarding watering, and so those are more specialized. So that would be like general custodial, constructive. There'd be a go-to person for that I would just sort of say, hey, it's dry. Let's get some headers out here and run some drip line, or, you know, just start shoving it out to those people. So I sort of float around and I just designate people to do little jobs like that as needed. And that's, I guess, my job. And then, you know, I'll do some technical work, but I sort of hang back and let people develop their own focus on what it is that they're able to do. And some, depending on their experience, really go deeply in one direction. Like last year, we had somebody that worked at the Speedy Delivery Service out in Minnesota, and he was really good at packing trucks and keeping track of stuff. And we do a lot of packing there, harvesting, you know, post-harvest handling. And so keeping all those little bits and pieces and things organized, he was very excellent at that. And so trying to keep track of a multitude of things is important. And it's important to have more than perhaps one person doing it, but really important to have like one person that is really into it. Just so things remain straight. It's really nice to have a whole bunch of people that know what, you know, they're not just another cog in the wheel. You know, they're involved with the whole process from, you know, planting to weeding to harvesting. And then also keeping track of things. So we have that open dialogue. So there's somewhere usually between 10 and 15 people, you know, running around doing things on a regular basis. And it seems like people find their level, where they want to be, who they want to be with. If they want to harvest herbs and make that a part of their regular routine, kind of light, simple work like that, or whether they want to do, you know, more heavy picking, beans, potatoes, tomatoes. There's a great deal of manual work, and you know, that's what we celebrate together. So it's a group project. So there's a thing that occurs that sort of gels throughout the season. You know, where we really come together on an intuitive level and you know, get the job done. And so, you know, over the course of the last 10 years or so, we really have been looking for what it is that creates that situation and how better to define it.